Well, hello again, everybody. It's time for Touching Greatness, the 50th Anniversary Tour special, because we're talking golf today. Got special weekend coming up in 2 weekends with the Ryder Cup. And on this show, next Thursday, we have a doubleheader, sort of like the Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. We'll have the Inside Blitz NFL show at 12 o'clock noon on Thursday, and then 3:30 Pacific time, a special hockey show. We will do the 80th anniversary celebration, the birthday of Rogie Vachon, Hockey Hall of Fame goaltender, and of course, longtime former Los Angeles King, and some special guests there. In the meantime, we got a special guest here. Let's do it.
This is Jack Nicklaus. You're watching Touching Greatness with Ted Sobel, celebrating 50 plus years.
Thank you, Jack. And hello, Todd Lewis from the Golf Channel. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Hey, Ted, good to be with you.
Absolutely. A little background here. I can't believe you said you're in your 37th year of broadcasting.
Yeah, it's been a long, strange trip, as the great would say. But yeah, I started, when I was 21.
Okay.
I got a weekend part-time reporting job at the NBC affiliate in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Went from Winston-Salem to Wilmington, North Carolina, then to Spokane, Washington, then back to North Carolina. This is all working at local news.
Yeah.
Working in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then came to Orlando, which was, I was going up market size each trip. And from a market size perspective, Orlando was a top 20 market. And I was here for 8 years. Long story short, while I was here, Golf Channel was based here in Orlando, and they offered me a job. And I've been there for now 18 years at the Golf Channel.
Outstanding. Now, what was the big break with the Golf Channel that got it started? Was it Arnie who made that call at the time, or no?
No, it wasn't Arnie. Mr. Palmer was not involved in the hiring decision.
Okay.
So he probably would not have hired me. But someone else. And it was interesting. I got the job. And so working in Orlando at the time, Orlando as a sports anchor at the CBS station here in Orlando, Orlando had two PGA Tour events. They had obviously Bay Hill, and there was a Disney PGA Tour event in the fall.
Yes.
And so I grew up playing golf, and I followed golf, and I felt like, hey, this is going to be a perfect segue for me to go into the Golf Channel. But as I walked into the building about a week after being hired, I realized that I have a high school diploma when it comes to the game of golf, and everyone in this building has a PhD. So I had to quickly study. I was blown away. I was like, what? There's a ladies European tour? I didn't know that.
It's great.
Yeah. So now I feel like I've got pretty good muscle memory when it comes to the game of golf.
Yeah, you think so? And how about just the opportunity to interview some of the all-time greats? I mean, how great is that?
Look, it's amazing. It really is. It's to be on the world's greatest tour, on the world's biggest stages, and talking to legends in the game, including Tiger Woods. You got a picture up of him and following him through basically the halfway point to the end of his career. I know he's still got maybe a little gas in the tank, but
yeah.
I'll never forget. People ask me all the time, "What's your fondest memory in regards to interviews?" And I sit down Sunday night after the Masters is over with the champion.
Yeah.
In 2019, when I'm sitting down on the grounds at Augusta National, and across me is what many consider the greatest player ever, who had this borderline miraculous comeback and was able to win the Masters once again. And he and I are having a conversation. The fear of failing is not generally in my vocabulary, but I remember when he sat across from me and the cameras were rolling, in my head, subconsciously, I was saying, don't screw this up. So that's,
no, I get it.
But it was amazing. It was I still think about that moment as probably the height of my career.
Yeah, well, it's also one of the heights of the Masters career, right?
Yeah.
All time. I was lucky. That was the last Masters I covered. And if I never cover another one, I think that's a good one to go out on.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, this year's was pretty good too. I mean,
absolutely.
Sitting across from Rory McIlroy was a lot of fun too, considering everything that he had put into trying to win the career Grand Slam.
And here's a guy who has a few green jackets in his closet, if they let him take it home, of course.
Right. And it's always cool to talk to Jack. I mean, Jack, I mean, since we're talking about and kind of rambling
Sure.
on some great interview experiences, this goes back to the tail end of COVID. And
Okay.
this was the memorial,
Yeah.
and the tournament director at the time, they had a pro-am set up.
Okay.
And sadly, unfortunately, COVID had started to make a resurgence in the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
And so the governor shut down the pro-am. So the tournament director came up to me and said, "Hey, we've got all these people, all these clients from nationwide here ready for the pro-am, and now they can't play in the pro-am. Would you mind hosting a Q&A with Jack Nicklaus, Peyton Manning, and Tiger Woods?" I said, "Let me think. Yes, I'll do
Yeah.
that. I'll
Yeah.
be glad to
I
do
don't
that."
think it took you that long,
No,
actually.
but I'll tell you what was a lot of fun about it is Nationwide had a script of like I would say 5 to 6 questions they wanted me to ask in our conversation between Jack and Tiger, and we had 30 minutes set aside for Tiger and Jack. And so you get through those first 5 or 6 questions in about 7 minutes, and after
Yeah.
that, I got to freelance with the two greatest players ever. I mean, just
Nice.
us three, and
Nice.
so that was a really cool moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about, before we get into the Ryder Cup, what is going on with the best player in the world right now, who's doing his own nice little imitation of Mr. Woods, isn't he?
I mean, he is amazing. He is such an abstract from the norm. If you think about the greats, the goats, as they call them,
Yes.
in any sport, whether it's Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, to put it into modern times,
Yeah.
I feel as if, and I covered Tiger, so I know this is true, but from the other athlete's perspective, I feel as if the fame, um, the attention was somewhat their fuel.
Okay.
Something that they knew they were the best and they wanted to be talked about the most, and they wanted the popularity, they wanted the spotlight.
Yeah.
So Scotty Scheffler, this is why he's such a unicorn. Scotty
Yeah.
Scheffler, at least from a competitive perspective, is the biggest name in the game.
Yeah.
He's probably not as popular as Tiger. Maybe Rory is as popular as him, but at least right now, the best player from a competitive perspective, the biggest player is Scotty Scheffler,
Yeah.
but he wants to be so small. It's amazing. I mean, he really doesn't want the attention. He wants to just be. It's much more important for him to be a great husband, a great father, a great friend, a great family member to his parents, to his
Yeah.
extended family. Those are way up there on the priority list compared to being the greatest golfer, which he is.
Yeah.
So I think he, from a golfing perspective, has the most perfect, beautiful mix
Yeah.
of
True.
confidence and humility that I've ever seen in the game of golf.
Yeah. The
Maybe in all of
personality,
athletics.
and the personality in golf, I think, has to be different because you have to accept failure every few seconds sometimes, right? And these guys are such perfectionists. If they don't hit the ball, even though they're hitting it 1,000 times better than any of us could ever imagine, if it's not perfect for them, you could see the look on their face.
True. I mean, you're right. I mean, Scotty Scheffler is the best on the planet. We are not arguing that.
Yes.
He's won 19 times in 150 starts. That's a winning percentage of 12%.
Yes.
88% of the time he doesn't win, but still he is remarkably way ahead, head and shoulders above everyone else. But I'm out there watching him, and yes, if he was a flavor of ice cream at Baskin Robbins, he would be vanilla. There's no doubt
No
about
doubt.
it. No doubt.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, vanilla is very popular, and I'm seeing a ground surge of fans, a lot of parents taking their kids out.
Yeah.
And the line Charles Barkley said, athletes are not role models. And I get it. I
Yeah.
understand that. That's true. But I tell you what, if I have a daughter and I hope that she dates, gets into a relationship with someone like Scotty Scheffler. I
Sure.
really do. So I think that he is, if athletes are a role model, he is definitely on the top of that list.
Okay. So Scotty wins his sixth event of the year
Yep.
yesterday. And I want to talk about the intimidation factor.
Cool.
If It doesn't happen often in golf, but when a Tiger or a Scotty show up, the rest of the field like, oh no, here we go again. And the best line of the year I thought was yesterday. I'm watching the end of the round and they're interviewing Lanto Griffin. And Lanto says, hey, I wish Scotty wasn't here. I might have had a chance.
Yeah, and I think deservedly so, are starting to make some comparisons to Tiger Woods with Scotty Scheffler's results, his statistics. He's number one off the tee. He's number one with his iron play. He's top 25 or 30 now in putting. I mean, that's a lethal combination. But I think what is an unmeasured statistic about Scotty Scheffler is what you just talked about, his intimidation. I'll take you back to Royal Rush.
Okay.
Heading into Sunday, I think the lead was 4. He had a 4-shot lead. And I talked to every player that was behind him on the first page of that leaderboard. And I asked him, what do you expect from Scotty Scheffler? And every one of them said, well, he's not coming back to us, and that's true. And so when he gets ahead, especially a large lead heading into the final round, the guys know they're playing for second.
Right.
Now that if you consider what happened in Napa on the weekend, where all of a sudden he is starting to surge after a 64 on Saturday, and he's on the first page of the leaderboard, and Ben Griffin is looking at the leaderboard, and here comes Scotty Scheffler. He also knows that Scotty's not going to make a mistake, and that subconsciously or consciously says, I can't make a mistake either. And what that does to you if you're leading is that brings fear of failing in as your motivator. And when that happens, you press too hard, you start to think about things, you don't have freedom, and suddenly you're missing a 6-footer to go into a playoff, as Ben did on the 72nd hole. It's amazing how intimidating he is right now to the rest of the field.
Absolutely. It's funny when you say, here comes Scotty Scheffler. Nowadays, it's like an old reference. Here comes Secretariat. It's the same thing.
Kind of.
You're done. You're done.
Yeah. He's not quite Tiger yet, but he's not far from him. He's not far from it.
I want to ask you about the comparison one more time. One of my favorite all-time stories is covering this guy. Hang on a second. Here he is. Tiger, when he was a little kid, there he is meeting Sam Snead. Mm-hmm. The most incredible thing in my mind, the ironic number of all time in golf, is they are now tied at 82 and maybe forever. I mean, who knows, right? I was there when Tiger hit his first shot at Riviera, and there's Sam Snead, who was the what did they call him then? Just the week's celebrity, basically, coming in, and he was a prior winner, and there he was watching Tiger's first event. And I talked to Sam Snead before, and he said, look, the guy looks fantastic, but he's a kid. We got a long way to go. And now, decades later, they are tied. Talk about that.
Well, first off, I want to give all the praise to Sam Snead. He definitely was an icon in the game. But if you're comparing the wins that Sam Snead had to the wins that Tiger Woods had, I mean, Sam won, I would say, close to 10, maybe 12 events that were team events that were counted as PGA Tour victories. That really wasn't the case for Tiger Woods. And secondly, Tiger, the depth globally of the game of golf now is way different than it was in Sam Snead's era. So I'm saying that yes, they are tied, but I feel like the quality of wins that Tiger Woods has compared to Sam Snead makes Tiger the greatest PGA Tour winner of all time. Now, obviously, the numbers don't say that. And this is interesting. Look, I can tell you this: Tiger Woods wants number 83, which is
no doubt.
I mean, 83. Yeah, but him and Sam are tied at 82. He wants number 83. And if you look at from a legacy perspective, there are still arguments out there. Who's the greatest of all time? Is it Jack Nicklaus or is it Tiger Woods? Now, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger's not going to get 18 majors. That we know that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But if he gets 83 and he becomes the PGA Tour's all-time winningest player, I mean, that's a feather in the argument for Tiger Woods as being the greatest ever. So, but he would love to have that. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, well, let me throw you one more number out there on Sam Snead, because he told me this that day. This would be 90, I don't even remember anymore, 91 or 92, I can't remember, at Riviera. He said, forget the 82 wins. I won about 30 more that they didn't count. Now, I don't know how much of those would be because they changed them to be sanctioned PGA events later. So that's a number that, you'd have to go in the history books and look at each individual one. But if Sam came back right now, he would say, screw that 82, baby. I'm way over that.
True. Hey, you know what? You may be right. It's a
I'm just
different era.
giving him his kudos.
Absolutely. Great player. And as I said, an icon in the game. Maybe should be
Yep.
on the Mount Rushmore of golf. Yeah, but I will say that's what Sam didn't do, what Tiger did do, and that he urbanized golf.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, he elevated golf. There probably wouldn't be a golf channel without Tiger Woods.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You look at these guys playing for 20, $25 million purses right now. If Tiger Woods wasn't around, that's not happening. So
well, let's give credit to Arnie, by the way. There definitely would be no golf channel without Arnold.
There would be no PGA Tour without Arnold Palmer. Yeah. So yes, but Tiger did
no doubt
bring it up to here. When inner city kids were thinking about basketball and football and maybe baseball as a sport, when Tiger Woods was dominating, they said, hey, you know what, I want to try golf. So he was able to do something that I don't think will be ever matched again by a player, and that was make golf kind of I wouldn't call it an elite sport, but an equal sport with some of the bigger sports on the planet.
No doubt about it. And before we go to the Ryder Cup, I want to get your thoughts on Rory McIlroy. I took this picture of you guys when I was at Pebble Beach, by the way. You didn't even know that, so no problem. So where does he stand right now? I had Brady Riggs on, who is a top 100 teacher out there a few weeks back. We talked about comparing him to Scotty and to Tiger. And one thing about Rory is he probably has the most talent of all time, at least right there with the best, but he's not the best for a bunch of reasons, and you got to be more consistent.
True, but close to 30 wins on the PGA Tour, and
that's not a put down.
and being one of the very few that have completed the career Grand Slam. I would disagree with that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, because I think he is going to go down as one of the greatest global players ever. I mean, you're talking about Sam Snead and again, one outstanding great player. So is Tom Watson, so is Jack Nicklaus, so is Arnold Palmer and Hogan, all his career Grand Slam guys, and Tiger, of course. But of the list of players on that completed Grand Slam career list, that guy played the most globally. He has done, I think he has done globally more for the game than the other guys have, from a competitive perspective. So I think he has. I think he's definitely one of the top 10 players of all time. Maybe even top 8, or maybe top. Some would say maybe top 6. But he's an elite player. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and this year is historic for him, and yet he's looking up at Scotty for Player of the Year, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, he had the moment of the year, winning the career Grand Slam in the Masters, but Scotty, no doubt, is the Player of the Year. I mean, it's crazy. He's won 19 times on the PGA Tour, and 13 of those wins have come in the last 2 years.
That is insane.
Think about that.
Absolutely. Let's talk Ryder Cup because it's coming up in about 11 or 12 days, a week from Friday. And what is it about the Ryder Cup that excites you? I'll give you a little perspective. When I was growing up, the Davis Cup in tennis was bigger than the Ryder Cup. Nobody cared about the Ryder Cup. Now it's the opposite. Why is the Ryder Cup a big deal to the average fan who maybe doesn't watch it?
Well, I think you have national pride for sure.
Okay.
That's involved in this. Everyone's going to root for their country. But again, I think it goes back to Tiger Woods. I mean, Tiger elevated the game of golf and ultimately elevated the Ryder Cup. I remember going to my first Ryder Cup. I got hired. I was on the air in 2008, and you had to cut my teeth before I started going to majors and team events. My first one was a pretty good one. Was Medina in 2012. Sure. And never been to the Ryder Cup before. I've never been, and I'll never forget being on that first tee in Chicago, and I'm like, holy cow, I think I'm in Cameron Indoor Stadium here. And I can tell you that first tee experience, although glorious, is nothing like it is now. I mean, now you got 5,000-6,000 fans around that tee, and everybody's screaming, pageantry and craziness. I think the Ryder Cup allows golf fans to become football, basketball, baseball, hockey fans. It's allowed,
Got it.
with respect.
Yeah.
You've got,
Not
instead
like
of,
Phoenix, but we know.
correct. Instead of rooting for one of 156 players at a PGA Tour event, you got two sides, and that's it. You pick one or the other. It's black or white. It's dogs or cats. And so the passion comes out, the energy comes out. The players are definitely embracing it. So I think all of those components that make this golf event not seem like a golf event is why the Ryder Cup is so successful.
Are we done with the talk about we need to get paid for this? Remember a few
But
years ago that was coming up.
they're getting paid now.
No,
Well, the
well, but I
U.S.
mean,
team.
but not the pay that they talked about originally, or is it? Maybe it's more than I realize.
Well, the U.S. team's getting $500,000 each player.
Oh, they are. Okay, I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
aware. I didn't know it was
yeah.
that much. I'm sorry.
Yeah, European guys are playing for country.
So
And
what do you
actually,
think about that?
they kind of lift their nose up at the Americans, like, we don't need the money. It's actually a little bit of bulletin board material for them.
Okay, so I knew that one of the sides didn't get. I didn't know it was 500 grand each.
Yeah.
Now the greed is coming into play there, and that's one of the issues that people are turned off about golf because of what's going on in Live.
True, I can see that argument for sure, and I'm
Yeah.
not taking a side here, but I will play devil's advocate in
Okay.
that the PGA of America this year, because they are the home team, the US is, they are going to make so much money on this Ryder Cup.
Okay.
I mean, tickets are $700 to $800 minimum
Oh
to
wow.
get on the grounds.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, like I said, this is a big time sporting event. This is not a big time golf event. Conversely, the European Tour, which runs the Ryder Cup when it's in Europe, they essentially probably make close. I'm estimating here close to 75% of their budget for the next year off the Ryder Cup.
Oh, big
And
difference.
so they make a lot of money, and the players see that. And so I don't really fault them for making a bit of an argument. I think this is a good number. I think $500,000 per
Okay.
player. They're not asking for seven figures.
It's fair.
And by the way, the player has the opportunity, if they'd like, from what I understand, to take that money and give it to their favorite charity. So I see both sides of that argument, but
Okay.
but yeah, there's a lot of money that's going to be made at the Ryder Cup.
Okay. Now the storyline to me is because it's at Bethpage and it's in New York. Talk about what that's going to be like. Maybe the zoo of all zoos.
So I've been to the PGA Championship at Bethpage.
Yep.
Been U.S. Open at Shinnecock, U.S. Open at Bethpage.
Okay.
And it's the most vocal, unique
Yes.
golf tournament that I've ever been to. Those venues. So I think the Ryder Cup is going to be even magnified even more. I hope. I want the United States crowd to be loud, and I want them to be proud, but I also want them to be respectful.
Sure.
I've been to Ryder Cups. It was this way at Hazeltine, Minnesota, one or two other places where people start downing some liquid courage and they say inappropriate things. I don't want that to happen. And so I'm a little fearful of that. I hope that the PGA of America and the security there on the grounds will take care of those idiots and get them out of there.
Yeah.
But it's going to be energetic. I mean, the New York, you go to Yankee Stadium, if you're a Red Sox fan, you're going to hear it. Or if you're a Red Sox player.
Yeah, exactly.
Same things happens in the Garden if you're a Celtics player. So, it's the way it's going to be. I will say this, the European team is embracing that. Not sure if you've heard, but Luke Donald has given his players some kind of virtual reality headphones and maybe those goggles as well that simulates what they're going to hear at the Ryder Cup, so they can go ahead and get used to being called some really bad things. So
it's like pre-Super Bowl where they say, we want you to hear the noise. They'll turn up the sound on the practice.
Right. But they probably during the Super Bowl practices don't throw in words that you wouldn't say in church. So that's happening right now. Rory
Okay.
McIlroy talked about that over the weekend, that they've got these headsets, and so they, like, I will say this: the European team, they are embracing it. They are looking at this like a business trip, and
Okay.
they don't mind being yelled at. They actually see that as a bit of a compliment.
Well, I love that. It's just going to make it that much more fun, and they are going to
Yeah.
be prepared. And I wanted to ask you about the preparation for each team.
Mm.
You think it's any different now than it was a few years ago because of the severity of the importance of it now? It just keeps growing every damn time.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to Rome. That was the last Ryder
Yep.
Cup 2 years ago. The United States team, there was a month off they took between
Okay.
the
Yes.
Tour Championship and the Ryder Cup. Now, the Pro Corp Championship, the PGA Tour event that just happened, that Scotty Scheffler won, that was on the schedule then, but all but one of those players, Justin Thomas, decided to skip that event. So they
Okay.
came to Rome with some competitive rust. Conversely, the European team, they played the BMW Championship. There was another tournament that most of the players played, and so they were tournament ready and Ryder
Okay.
Cup ready, and it showed. So now the United States learned their lesson. So they decided to, 10 of the 12 players played this past weekend in Napa. The only two that didn't, Xander Schauffele,
Yep.
understandably, his wife gave birth to their first child, so he
Congrats
stayed
to
home with
them.
him. Yep, and Bryson DeChambeau, who's ineligible to play on the PGA Tour.
Yes.
So they all went. All 10 of them made the cut. All
Okay.
10 of them played 72 holes of tournament play.
Nice.
So I think they're going to be sharper heading
Yep.
into the Ryder Cup compared to 2 years ago. On the flip side, the European team, they just played the BMW PGA Championship on the DP World Tour, which is the equivalent of the players on the PGA Tour, on that tour. So all but two of the players made the cut. And so they flew Sunday night after the tournament was over on a private charter. Again, team unity to New York. They played Bethpage on Monday, and they're going to play Bethpage on Tuesday too. So I think both teams are going to come in pretty sharp.
Okay. I like to use the term overthinking the room. Do you feel that ever comes into play within the Ryder Cup structure of the coaches saying, we need to do this, we need to do that, when it's like, hey, Scotty, you're the best in the world. Go out and shoot a 65, and I don't care what happens after that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you can say that, but when you've got 12 players, instead of just sending Scotty out there, and
No,
you got
I know that.
and in most and you got five matches, and four of them are team competition where you're being a partner. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of data and
Okay.
and logistics and numbers that they are crunching, both sides.
Golf
uh
analytics, huh?
yeah, analytics, there you go. And so both sides are doing that. So yeah, I would say I no, I think it's just the right amount on both sides.
Okay.
The United States team, the European team under Paul McGinley in 2014 was the first
Yeah.
to really use analytics.
Okay.
And I think the United States is caught up now. So there is no stone unturned here on both sides.
And I heard you say this morning on Golf Channel that you felt that Europe should be favored.
Yeah.
They're basically the same returning team as 2 years ago, and they got great players too. I mean, they might be a little deeper.
They're very much deeper than the United States team. They got
Yeah.
11 of the 12 that won in Rome back on the
Okay.
team. The only person that's been exchanged is the Hoygaards. They've
Okay.
switched, and they're twins, and you may not be able to tell them
Yes.
apart. We're not actually sure that they changed.
Yes.
So you got 11 of the 12 that dominated in Rome. You've got the same captain that is beloved by all of his players
He's
and
a
by
great
Team
guy.
Europe. Incredibly smart and
Yep.
thoughtful, and knows how to be a leader, primarily with quiet confidence. Yeah, I think they don't have the best player in the world, but from 1 to at least 11 and maybe 12, they may have the better players. The United States has 4 rookies on the team. And there is pressure when you're the home team, and
Yep.
especially in your New York crowd, because again, they're the favorites, and if you're supposed to win, that comes pressure. So I'm interested to see how this all plays out. And, but just like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a game plan until you get punched in the face. And New York may
Yes,
throw a
that's
big
true.
right hook to the European team. So it'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. Are you a little surprised or maybe even disappointed, because I am, that that the captain of the U.S. team decided not to play? Because I thought it would have been just special. Even if he played one, it would have been great just to have him out there. And I don't think it would have been. It would have gotten in the way of things anyway, wherever he would have placed himself within the day, probably early within the day.
No, I think he made the right move.
Because
I've known Keegan for a long time.
okay,
And Keegan is a very passionate, emotional person.
yes.
He doesn't do anything, as my grandfather would say, half-ass.
Okay.
So I guess we could say that on a
I
podcast.
think I knew. Of course you can. I think I knew your
So,
grandfather. Thanks for that.
so he's 100% invested
Okay.
in everything that he does. Doesn't
All
mean
right.
he accomplishes everything, but he's invested.
Okay.
So let's think about that. So if Keegan Bradley was just a player,
Yeah.
1 to 10, he'd be a 10 emotionally from a focus perspective, right?
Okay.
If Keegan was just a captain, which he is, I think from an intent perspective, again, from a focus, from an emotional perspective, he's going to be a 10. If he's a playing captain, he's 2 5s.
Okay. I got you.
So I think you're going to get distracted from either being a player or being a captain. There's a lot going on. Arnold Palmer in 1963 was the last playing captain.
I know,
get
and it was a different world then.
completely. As a matter of fact, it wasn't the United States against Europe. It was the United States against Great Britain and Ireland then.
Yeah.
And Arnold Palmer actually was named the captain less than 2 months prior to the Ryder Cup.
Yeah. You
And
can't
so
compare it.
it's yeah, you're right. You can't compare. I think he made the right move.
Okay.
I think he did. I've always felt like talking to him, although he never told me that this was always going to be his move. Now, if he won the tour championship, that'd have been a different story. But I think he's set up perfectly now. As I think it would have been a distraction for the players too. By the way, they would ask him, "What's it like to have a playing captain?" And they're
Yeah.
like, So now everybody can focus on what they were intended to do and go out and try to win it for the United States.
Yeah. The one thing about Keegan, it looked like all along, he basically said it, whether he said it in words or not. I don't want to be a distraction to any of this. I'm here to do a job. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. I don't want this to be an issue. And it would have been.
Yeah, totally, no doubt about it. And
Yeah.
and if he wasn't the captain, he'd be on the team. There's no doubt about it. As a
No, I
player.
get it. Okay. Last thing on the Ryder Cup. What is this with Bryson DeChambeau's ball and how that could be an issue in this event?
Well, Bryson is a unique player. Obviously, he's very much a forward thinker when it comes to equipment, and that
Okay.
goes all the way down to his golf ball. He's been working with a manufacturing company to try to develop a golf ball that is specific to his swing speed. But because he has such um, a unique attraction to having elite equipment that fits his game, it's an abstract from the norm compared to the other players on the team. So he has a unique golf ball. By the
Okay.
way, he's not the only one. Ben Griffin is the only
Oh,
player on the PGA Tour that I believe, at least definitely on the team, that plays a Max Fly golf ball, which has come back into the PGA Tour. So you got 2 players that have unique golf balls, that if you put them into foursome or alternate shot action, then either if you use Bryson's ball, then his partner's going to have to make a big adjustment, and conversely, if they use his playing partner's ball, then Bryson's going to have to make adjustments. So
got it.
that's something they're going to have to manage, because
Okay.
golf balls. You may think this is stupid. What are you talking about? It's a golf ball, but it's amazing how sensitive players are to golf balls. I didn't realize this until I started covering these guys. They are incredibly sensitive about proper golf ball that fits their game, whether how it reacts in the wind, how much the spin they can put on it to hit a draw or fade, even the sound of the golf ball. These guys are so good that they may not like it and make them feel uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be an interesting thing on how Bryson is used. He may not even be used. Who knows? He may not be even used in alternate shot. It may just be used in 4-ball or best ball. And then play singles. But we'll see how that all plans out.
Okay. And how great is this story here with JJ Spawn, a SoCal guy, big Dodger fan?
Yeah.
What's What was that like to see his all of a sudden, boom, I'm a star, baby.
I love JJ Spawn. I
Isn't he
really
good?
do. Well, yeah, but he's, I use this so often, but it's true with him. He's a great player, but a better person.
Yep.
For somebody who, and this is not a knock against JJ. I hope if he's watching JJ, please understand this is an incredible compliment.
It's all good.
But he's not 6'3" or 6'4"
Of
like Ludwig
course.
Oberg or Scotty Scheffler. So, he's not maybe naturally gifted from a size perspective, but he's smart. He's got incredible grit.
Yep.
I think his belief really turned a corner. I think at the Players this year when he went toe to toe with Rory McIlroy. If you remember, they ended up in a Monday playoff. I think that was a turning point for him. That's like, hey
Okay.
man, you know what? I'm speeding on the highway to be an elite player, and then
Yep.
obviously showed at Oakmont. So I'm excited for him. I will say this: I was a little concerned about JJ at the Tour Championship. He wasn't playing well. I was watching him and his coaches go through a lot of stuff with him on the driving range. It looked
Okay.
like he was searching big time,
Oh, okay.
and he finished 25th out of 30 players at the Tour Championship. And I'm like, oh no, it's a tough time to start going
Yeah,
south with your
bad
game.
timing, baby.
But he came back and played beautifully in Napa. I think he finished top six.
Oh, okay. Good.
So he played well. So he was the third best behind Bit Griffin and of course the winner Scotty Scheffler as far as the United States players in the field. So I think he recaptured some of that mojo and that confidence and that belief that's going to benefit him at Bethpage.
Okay, let's go over a couple of general topics. The new PGA Tour rules coming up in regards to the field size and how that's going to affect some guys. The Monday qualifiers, we'll call them fringe guys, if you know what I mean. How is the reaction to that as we get closer to how that's going to affect everybody?
Well, there are three categories of people that I can answer
Okay.
with that question. If you're in the signature events, these elite events, then you're very happy. You're
Yeah.
playing $25 million purses. You also are playing for more FedEx Cup points. So obviously you're great. If you're not in those, then you don't have as many opportunities to play.
Yeah.
And when you do get those opportunities to play, you better play well. So one player who's not in the signature events told me once, he said there is a PGA tour and there's a PGB tour.
Oh, I like
Uh,
it.
so and now you have a new CEO coming in with of the
Yeah.
PGA tour, Brian Rollout. It sounds as if from everything that he intimated in his press conference at the Tour
Okay.
Championship that he wants to see more of those signature events. We're actually going to have one more signature event next year compared to this year. We're going to have
Okay.
9 instead of 8. So it sounds as if that's likely to happen. And there may actually be a reduction in tournaments on the
Ooh,
PGA
that's not good.
Tour. So right now they have 35. So I don't know.
Okay.
And so, he believes in something called scarcity. He has some core beliefs from a business perspective for the PGA Tour. One of them is scarcity, which I find to be interesting. I kind of get the impression that coming from the NFL world, like if you think about it, the NFL season, which is happening now, everybody's excited. But once it ends and the Super Bowl is over,
Yeah.
then there's free agency, the draft, then camps start and everything. And so everybody starts building up for the season. I think he kind of wants that with the PGA Tour, where he really wants an off season from the
Boy,
PGA
that's
Tour.
tough to do, though. I mean, look, whether it's fair or not, you'd have to ask each individual player because it's an individual sport. But I truly believe if you've earned the right to get on tour, you should be playing in the whatever amount of events. They could even add a few for those guys just to make a nice living.
Well, yeah, I hear that argument and I understand that argument. At the same time, I've also heard that there are too many events that how much attention are the fall series events getting?
No, I get
It's a
it.
fair argument there too. It's an interesting equation. I'm not saying who's right or wrong about it, but I'm interested to see how this all plays out.
Yeah,
But I
of
will
course.
say what I have seen and heard and read from the PGA Tour is the fact that they have created what I think is $1 billion in new revenue from sponsorships from December the 31st of last year to what will be December 31st of this year.
Okay.
And the ratings have gone up significantly, double digits across the board on every network. So I feel like the tour is going this way. And now there seems to be a change happening. It's like when everything is trending in a positive direction. I just hope that they're smart enough to not to plateau things and then go the other direction, because we definitely
Right.
don't want that.
Yeah, I think it's all about numbers. I mean, it's a different world now too. If you're
Sure.
not getting the numbers, it doesn't mean anything. And what gets the numbers are the biggest names, and the biggest names got to play more often. And I'm sure that's what's more important than that to the elite of the sport.
But I will say this too, uh, the non-signature events where we have been introduced to some new stars,
Yeah.
the ratings in those tournaments have gone up significantly as well. You know, the 3M Opens, the Wyndham Championship, the Cognizant at, in West
Okay.
Palm Beach. Those tournaments have gone up too. I think the PGA Tour is in a good spot, and I look, we all want to improve no matter how good we think we are,
Yeah.
and I think the tour is trying to do that as well, and hopefully they'll have the right formula.
Okay, that's true. Last thing, just general golf, and I guess you can't say Tiger Woods is general golf, but what do you hear about him playing on the Champions Tour? Is it
Oh, I think
is
he's
it
going to play.
is it just going to be like the majors and a couple of other things you think, or
I think yeah, I would start with the major championships. Definitely the U.S. Senior Open. I think he's going
okay,
to play for sure. That's a big event.
okay,
But yeah, I can tell you right now, Tiger Woods has been hitting balls. He's been practicing.
okay,
He's out of his boot. I would not be surprised to see him play the PNC Championship later this year with his son Charlie, as he's done traditionally over the last few years. Um, I don't know if he's going to play the Hero World Challenge, which is his tournament. I don't know if he feels like his game will be ready because there's so many elite players in that field, but he might. You never know.
okay.
But I think he will play some Champions Tour events, PGA Tour Champions events, I should say. And I think he'll play a handful. I wouldn't be surprised to see him play 4 or 5 of those events, but probably elite events on that tour.
Yeah, of course, it's all health related. If he's healthy, he's going to do whatever he can do. Have you heard he's coming along well? Because
I
we
have.
don't see.
He's progressing well.
Excellent,
It's a pretty serious injury, but
of course.
things are moving in the right direction, and I think he should be fully recovered by the beginning of the next year.
That's great. Well, I covered him since the beginning, his first swing at Riviera as a teenager. And I do remember speaking to him at Sherwood Country Club when he used to have his little shootout over there after
Yeah.
the Shark shootout moved, right? The Tiger silly season as it was in those days. And he said to me, I'm not playing on that old man's tour. There's no way. That's a long time ago, of course.
Right.
Things evolve, right?
Well, he hasn't played a lot of golf recently on the
I
PGA
know.
Tour, so maybe I'm sure he's itching, and he's got a lot of friends on that tour. He would love to go out there. I
Oh,
mean,
that
I think now at this point in his career, in his life, for that matter, he has a greater appreciation of what he's accomplished.
absolutely.
And I think when he wants to go out and win. I'm not saying if, I'm saying when he plays on the PGA Tour Champions, he wants to go out and win. But
Yeah,
it's also a bit of a celebration for him as well.
absolutely.
So I think he will enjoy that.
And the competitor in him will go crazy.
Of
That's what he
course.
wants to bring out,
Of
right?
course, yeah. And
I can't.
think about the ratings too for the
Yeah.
U.S. Senior Open or the Senior PGA Championship if Tiger
Oh,
Woods
it's
is
going
in
to
the
be
mix.
incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
And I see this picture come out. I think it was yesterday. I didn't know his daughter was engaged.
Holy cow, you're breaking news to me. I didn't know that either.
That's what I saw.
Wow,
They
Sam
talked
is
about.
engaged.
Well, I hope this is real. I tried to research it, and there were a couple of sites that said it's so crazy with AI now, anything could happen.
Well,
But
that's true. Yeah,
she's
I
holding
haven't.
up a ring there, and that's what they said. And I remember
Wow,
when she was a little baby in his arms. So that's incredible. Good
wow,
for
didn't
Sam.
know that. Yeah.
Yeah. What an amazing family. And how good is Charlie right now?
He's very good. He's got obviously the genes.
Yes, that helps.
I was talking with Tiger and some of his camp, and Tiger's already, I mean, excuse me, Charlie's already received full ride scholarships, to play wherever he wants to play, pretty
Of course.
much. And so there's still some things he has to work on, obviously, to be an elite junior player. We have seen that he's played in some big time junior events. He hasn't quite put himself in the mix. He's played solidly. Um, but he's still a growing player, both
Right.
physically, mentally, and emotionally. And so obviously he's got some potential, and he's got some pretty good resources he could lean on as well.
Yeah, you think
So
so?
yeah, but that's a
Every time
pretty
I
big.
text Tiger, he doesn't give me any advice.
It's a pretty big shadow though following
Yeah,
him in
exactly.
Tiger Woods, but he's he's a pretty confident player, so I'm excited to watch him develop.
All right, changing directions. What happened to the amazing singing voice of Todd Lewis?
Well, let's first call into question the word amazing. So I so I, even on my air, my colleagues will say, "Hey, karaoke," and I have some friends, and we'll go out and we'll karaoke
Good.
and have a good time, and good.
Excellent.
So I was originally into music and like middle school, junior high, and high school. Was thinking about going to study music in college, but this is kind of ironic. I remember my freshman year with the intention of studying music and voice. And as I thought about it, and I was going to a small school, a great school at UNC Greensboro, I was like, wow, people at UNCG or UNC Greensboro, they're very talented. If they're very talented here, what's it like in New York or LA
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Nashville? So I was too scared of the competition to
Oh,
follow through on my dream. And I actually kind of regret it a little bit. So I quit and I decided to change my major into journalism with a focus on broadcast journalism, which, as I found out, was as equally competitive to get into
yes, it
as
was.
getting into music. But I was in some bands and stuff in college. And so occasionally me and my buddies will go out and we'll find a band playing and we'll hijack one of the bands with a Benjamin or two and we'll sing a few songs in a set and we'll have a good
That's
time.
great.
So
What was your favorite style of music?
kind of 80s and 90s, kind of rock
Okay.
and roll, like hot, like Journey, Guns N' Roses. I can, sing some of that. So I've had some cool opportunities. I sang with Train once.
Okay.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun at a corporate
Nice.
event. So that was fun singing with Pat Monahan, who's the lead singer. So, and a couple other musicians that are into golf, like Luke Bryan and some other guys. And so it's yeah, it's fun. It's cool.
That's great. What about your actual? Are you? Can you hit the high notes like Journey could? Or I mean, that lead
I
singer is
could.
okay. Well,
I
you
can't.
used
I
to.
can't. Generally, I can.
That's a tough one.
It's hard. Peter Jacobson, if you remember Peter Jacobson, the great Peter
Yes,
Jacobson, yeah,
of
Jake
course.
Trout, Jake Trout and the Flounders, they were the original.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Jake and I have talked for a long time about bringing him back, getting on his guitar and singing some, and maybe getting some other guys. We both know some quality people in the music industry that are great, that love golf, and maybe getting a band together and getting some tour players that play, like Russell Henley's a really
Oh, okay.
pretty good guitarist. Find some
Excellent.
guys and making maybe having a charity tournament or charity event,
Yeah,
I
like
should
an
say, a
all-star
charity
band would
concert.
be fun, right?
Yeah, who knows, but we keep talking about we should probably put the wheels in motion to make that happen.
Okay, I put up the wrong thing. We're obviously not the Inside Blitz, so I don't know where the hell that came from. But you're a football fan because I know I've seen you talk about your teams in the South, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love this. I love football. I love watching college football and NFL. I don't really have a passion about a team. Actually,
Oh, okay,
I enjoy it, but I do watch a lot of it.
okay,
My favorite team that I'm passionately following, that I will say, okay, they're playing tonight, I'm going to watch, is
yes,
actually in the NHL. It's the Carolina Hurricanes.
okay,
So I'll watch them and get into them. And I visited, Raleigh, and when the
sure,
Hurricanes come to Florida, when they play in Tampa, I'll go over and check them out. So yeah, but
yeah,
I'm a big Canes fan.
that's great. How'd you get into hockey, Mister South?
Well, it's funny you say that. So again, we'll go back to your original question with me.
Yeah,
When I was going through my nomadic TV career, I worked in Raleigh, North Carolina, and the years I was there, the Hartford Whalers just moved to
oh,
North
okay,
Carolina, but they had not built their arena in Raleigh yet, and so they were working in Greensboro, North Carolina, or playing in Greensboro, North Carolina, and so I would make trips and cover them and stuff, and to kind of build up a media presence in the market. The Hurricanes held training camp in Florida, and we, as media representatives, my station, we went down to training camp. and the Hurricanes made all their players available for like dinners and cocktails and stuff. And so I got to hang out with like Keith Primo and Ron Francis and
Nice.
all the, and so these great elite players, and you get to know them and you know the organization. Like, wow, these guys are class. And so I've been and I'm from North Carolina, so I've been a fan
Yeah.
ever since.
Yeah. Brenda Moore's a great guy too.
Yeah, great.
He really is. It's funny because that move, the Hartford Whalers moving south, actually opened up a job for me.
Oh, really?
At the University of Wisconsin. I became their hockey announcer when they moved down, and I'm sure the old play-by-play on the radio down in Carolina. I can't think of his name right now. I'm having a
Yeah, well,
brain
I
cramp.
left right as the Hurricanes started up in
Oh,
Raleigh.
that first season.
Yeah, so I left. So I got to go with them. I
Okay.
went to training camp, and then once they moved into
Got it.
Raleigh, I left down, came to Florida. So, but
What-
I
what-
followed them ever since.
Okay, Mr. Foodie, what's your favorite place to eat when you're on the road?
Oh, I didn't expect that. That was a good question.
Yeah,
Let's
I don't
see.
want to tell you in advance. That makes it no fun that
Okay.
way.
There's a great restaurant in Dublin, Ohio, actually.
Okay.
That a buddy of mine owns. It's really good. It's one of my favorite stops. It's called Tucci's.
Okay.
Really just quality food. Whenever we show up, you walk in there and it's like the World Golf Hall of Fame is in the restaurant. You see all these great players that are playing in the Memorial. Jim Nance and the CBS guys make an appearance there. So Tucci's is one of my favorite places to eat. Maybe my favorite place to eat. My wife's
Okay.
with me. Hey, Melanie.
Yeah, what is she like?
What's our favorite place to eat on tour? Is it Tucci's? Oh yeah, there's another place at Hilton Head Island called CQ's, which is right there
Okay.
by Calabogie Sound, which is really good.
When
The
you're up
best
at Pebble,
studio.
what do you do up in Carmel?
Let's see. When I'm in Carmel, yeah, you go to the lodge and eat. You go to the tap room.
Okay.
Not necessarily for the food, but for the atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
'Cause, yeah, you see all the players from both pros and amateurs. I mean, because you've got titans of industry there playing in that program.
Exactly.
So I've made a lot of great friendships there
I bet.
in the tap room. But yeah, I generally hang on. Steve John is a tournament director there. One of
Yeah,
my
he's a great
favorite.
guy.
He always makes sure that everybody's having a great time. I'm
Yeah.
actually fortunate. Speaking of which, I leave tomorrow to go to
Okay.
Pebble.
Really?
Yes. Now you talked about the PGA Tour Champions. There's the PGA Tour Champions event there this week called the Pure Insurance Open,
Okay.
which is a PGA Tour Champions player teams up with a national kid from the first tee. So that's the pro element, and there are also amateurs that play in the tournament as well. And I'm one of the amateurs, so I'm going to play in this tournament.
Oh wow, good for
So I'm
you.
super excited. And again, Steve John is the tournament director. He's also the tournament director for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm just praying that the Golf Channel cameras do not show me hitting shots.
Oh, that's yeah. Like they're not going to find a way.
I am praying.
You are dreaming, is what you are doing.
I'm praying.
Well,
I haven't seen the tee times yet. I'm hoping that we go off early enough that I'm outside the TV window.
Well, you tell Steve I said hi, and
Yep.
the other Steve, if he's playing, Steven Alker, who I don't know if you
yeah.
have the chance to get to know him much, because I know you don't cover that tour like the other tour, of course. But what a great guy! He did this show several months ago.
Yeah, what a
And-
great player. I mean, he's a class guy. I covered the senior PGA championship not too long ago.
Okay.
He won that tournament.
Yes.
And he came on set. I was hosting, and I mean, what a quality player, quality person. I mean, you talk about finding a different life when he came.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a good player on the PGA Tour, but now he's become an elite player on the PGA Tour Champions.
He looks like he's going to be around a long time too.
Yep.
He's always in contention. All right, last fun thing we're going to do here. Don't pet the peeves. You must have some pet peeves, baby.
My pet peeves involve traveling. So I travel about 120,000 miles a year. It's
Okay.
a lot. Everybody
Wow.
thinks that's cool. I mean, it is fun. I actually, I mean, it's a downside too. I love my job, but
No, I get it.
I've
I
got a
did it for a
9-year-old
long time.
daughter. Got a
Wow.
9-year-old daughter. Missed her first steps, her
Of
first
course.
words, some things like that. But I do travel. It's part of my life. The people in the airport. If you're watching, can I just give you some advice? I mean, maybe you're not doing this, but if you see people doing this, maybe say something. There's several things. Number one, when the plane lands and the bell goes off for everybody to get up, and deplaying, can you just wait till your row? It's your turn. Everybody rushes like,
Exactly.
like there's a fire in the back. So
Totally.
that's number one. Number two,
Okay.
if there's one of those moving walkways in the airport, sure, you can stand there, but just get out of the way. Let other people walk by. Don't just stand there like you're just hanging out. Oh, this is great. People are moving. We're on, get stand to the side. And finally, when you're getting your luggage, can you step back a little bit and wait for your turn till your piece of luggage comes out? People get in there like they're Moses Malone and they're boxing out everybody trying to
Yeah.
get their luggage. Just stand back and wait so other people can grab your luggage.
Like there's
Yeah.
gold coming out of there just for them.
Correct. Just get out of the way. Everything's gonna be okay. Your carousel, your bag's gonna come out. So just relax.
Do you have a pet peeve as far as broadcasting golf?
No, I don't really have any. No,
Okay.
I think both. I think CBS, NBC, Golf Channel, ESPN. I think we all do a pretty good job. I think
I'm sure
everybody
you do.
has everybody has their own unique style, and and to each their own. And so no, I think the game is presented very well to the audience.
And you cover so much of this. What are you looking forward to the most in the next year?
Well, the Ryder Cup is
after the of course.
you're talking like you're looking forward to 2026.
Yeah.
I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to have another career Grand Slam winner in Scotty Scheffler next year.
Okay.
He wins. All he needs is the U.S. Open, and we're going to Shinnecock, which is a hard golf course that's fast and firm, and I think that plays right into the best ball striker's hand. And I think he's going to complete the career Grand Slam next year. I haven't seen any evidence that he is going south.
Would he be the youngest to do that if he does? Or
Good
Tiger
question.
already did?
Yeah, probably sure. Probably Tiger, but
Yeah.
still to do it before you're 30 is
Exactly.
elite company.
He did it in almost 10 minutes if he gets it done.
Yeah. If you think about Rory had to wait 11 years, and Scotty's going to be able to do it in 3 or 4. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, you do a fantastic job, Todd. I enjoy watching you, and I can't believe that your travel is like I think the average pilot says I don't travel that much.
It's a lot, but I get to slow down in the fall, and I get to have some fun. And I mentioned my family. My family actually. Here's the thing. My family actually travels with me when they can. My daughter, who is
nice.
9, my daughter's 9. My wife tells me she's been on 150 flights. So just
Wow.
think about that as a 9-year-old. I think travel is one of the greatest educators for young people to see.
Absolutely.
And so for her to see parts of the planet that, obviously everyone in her 4th grade class hasn't seen, I think that's really cool.
Get to take advantage of the frequent flyer miles for the
I got a
family.
lot of them. I got a lot of frequent and a lot of hotel points.
You don't have a lot of frequent time to do anything, but you frequent flyer miles, right?
True, very true.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks for being a guest on the show. We appreciate it. 50th anniversary. Nobody does it better than this guy on the Golf Channel. Todd Lewis, congrats on a great career. Keep it going, man.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate you.
Hit him straight up at Pebble.
I hope so.
And if not, just enjoy the view. Who cares?
I will.
That's Todd Lewis, everybody. See you Thursday. Football and hockey on this show.